All right, hey guys, continuing to look at some of the questions you guys have had on 9-7. Right now we're taking a look at question 28 in 9-7. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So I see I've got an equation to solve. 32 minus 18m squared equals 0. All right, it's already said equal to 0, so I don't have to worry about that. It is a subtraction problem involving two terms. That has me thinking about the difference of two squares. But I look, and 32 is not a perfect square. So something else is going on here. Something else needs to be done. And again, mentioned this before in some of the other problems. And really, this can be a pretty powerful thing if you can start to recognize this is, can I divide that whole equation by some non-zero factor? All right. Is there a number that I can divide everything by? All right. So if I look, especially at 32 and 18, I don't need to worry about 0 because 0 is divisible by anything except for 0. So 32 and 18, what are they divisible by? And not only that, but I want the greatest thing they're divisible by. Let's see, they're both even, so they're divisible by 2. Is there anything else that goes into both of them? 3 goes into 18, but not 32. 4 goes into 32, but not 18. Yeah, I think 2 is the best we can do. All right. I just wrote a poem. All right. So let's divide them both. Let's divide everything by 2. Including that 0, again, because you can only do this with equations. If they say factor this thing, you can't divide by 2 because you can't change an expression. But with an equation, as long as I do it to both sides, it's perfectly legal. All right. So 32 divided by 2 is 16 minus, and 18m squared divided by 2 is 9m squared, and 0 divided by 2 is still 0. Okay, now still a difference and still a subtraction problem involving two terms, but now I'm feeling a little bit better because 16 is a perfect square. Let me switch markers here. 16 is a perfect square. It's 4 and 4, and 9m squared is a perfect square. It's 3m and 3m. All right, so this is a difference of two squares. All right, so now I can factor this thing. One of them plus, one of them minus, 4 and 4. And then 3m and 3m. And it still equals 0. So now I'm ready to use the zero product property. I'm multiplying two things and getting 0. The only way that can happen is if one of those two things is 0. So 4 plus 3m equals 0. Or 4 minus 3m equals 0. So now I've got two-step equations to solve. This one I subtract 4 on both sides. I get 3m equals negative 4. And then I divide by 3 on both sides. I get m equals negative 4/3. And now here, again, I'm going to cha-ching that just to help me see that I need to subtract 4 again on both sides. I get negative 3m equals negative 4. And then divide by negative 3. And I get m equals positive 4/3. And hopefully you're starting to notice a pattern there. I didn't ask you to find it, but hopefully you're starting to see it, that if I've got a difference of two squares, my answers are always just opposites of each other. So once you get one answer, you kind of know what the other answer is going to be. And again, I shared on one of my other videos, you can also write that as plus or minus 4/3. It simply means it's positive 4/3 or negative 4/3. So sometimes we write that with that little symbol there. It's an addition sign or a positive sign. With an underline under it, it's a positive or negative sign kind of combined. So, all right. So here was 28 on 9-7. And again, I think the key thing to this one was recognizing that can I find something to divide that whole equation by so that it does fit one of those patterns that we talked about. Okay. I hope this helps. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Take care, guys.